Sorry, sorry, I had to share it. Oh, what's up, everybody? Okay, that's a little gay, but it is freaking cold. Who else is cold? Welcome, everyone. What's up, K-Scoop? What's up, Lily and Casey Cheeto and Sarah McGee? How are y'all doing? I can't believe I'm actually cold. I'm never cold. Well, I won't say that. I can't believe with how cold I am, I'm up and walking around. I normally, when it gets this cold, I just stay in bed and, curl up, unless I'm at work, which we all know. How are we doing? That'd be cool. Very, very cold. Let's see. It's 35 degrees right now here in South Carolina. It was like 22 degrees this morning when Welcome to the Rebellion started. Oh, so cold, but I love it. I love being cold because I always say you can always fix being cold. You can't fix being too hot. Because if you're too cold, you always put on a coat. You always wrap up a blanket. If you're too hot, there's only so many layers, so many shirts, so many whatever that you can take off before we put you in jail. What's up, Spider Unlimited and the Beast? Got 3 people. Well, the other one's not here yet, but 3 people here that are getting ready to start a podcast together. It's going to be interesting today. It's going to be wild to see. No, I'm in the Midlands, Spider. Good morning, Marianne. Gonna let people start floating in. I think it's gonna be a little bit more of a chill stream today. Not to completely copy Welcome to the Rebellion, but I got real amped up yesterday, and I'm just not really in the mood to get amped up again. We're gonna have a nice, relaxing day. Hopefully, get those last couple of watch hours we need. Let's see where we're at. Analytics. Yeah, we need 27 watch hours today. And then sometime next week, we'll be able to request monetization. We did it. We're just about there. Well, let's listen to a drunk Kamala Harris. Okay, guys, so this, I'm going to go ahead and give everyone an update on the job. Okay. I have an interview at noon it's a Zoom interview. I think I'm good. I don't know. Is this bad enough that I need to shave? What do y'all think? Apparently, I pretty much already have the job. It's a remote position. It's not something that I'm really client facing. I don't think I need to shave. I think this is okay. What do y'all think? I'm probably gonna be sitting like this most of the time. All right, I'm gonna go with Lily. Unless anyone's just like, oh my god, it's terrible. And then there's a firm that I'm waiting. Like I said in Welcome to the Rebellion this morning. There's a firm that I'm waiting to hear from. They offered a job to someone 2 weeks ago. They haven't heard back yet. As far as I know, the person that I spoke to on Wednesday told me to call back yesterday around 5. I did. No answer. I left voicemail. Or this morning around 9. I called at like 8:45 this morning. No answer. Left a voicemail. And I just shot her a text. And she said she just replied with, "Good morning. Thank you for reaching out. I'll give you a call this afternoon." Considering that I'm basically waiting to find out if the other person took the job, I'm reading that as there's more to talk about than just, yes, she took the job. So I am praying that I'm going to find out she didn't take the job and they want to set up an interview with me. If they do, I will be shaving again because I will go into that interview fresh-faced. Because it won't be as clean as I want it to be for that sort of interview. I would be so good at this job. I really want it. Oh yeah, let's listen to drunk Kamala Harris. But that's where we're at on the job front, guys. Any prayers, please pray for me. She's talking about, she's promoting her, her 107-day book. And she is talking about the Ford employee, or Trump giving the Ford employee the middle finger, which I still think is hilarious.
Ever believe that we would witness a president of the United States doing what he did yesterday, giving somebody the finger?
Reminders, everyone, that we watched presidents of the United States call people the N-word and not allow them into a hotel. That was FDR, by the way, for Jesse Owens.
I know there's some pastors here, and I'm sorry that I said that, but he did it. I mean, the base level, the degradation of the office.
Degradation of the office of president. Okay. So let's remember that while Kamala Harris was vice president of the United States and Joe Biden was the president, that they found cocaine in the West Wing, that there's so much. She was drunk like half the time. They let 10 million illegals into the country. Yeah, let's just keep listening.
And that is...
I don't. I think it's hilarious.
That is not his office. That office belongs to the people.
She says that, but she expected to just get it because she was vice president. Who, again, she was vice president just because she was black and a woman. I want to play that, but it's gonna get the video or the stream copyright. That's okay. I'm not monetized yet either. Anyway, let's watch this too. What's up, Brucey? How you doing? Morning, King. Morning, Breezy. And Corn Boy, how you doing, bud? Donna, there's the third one. The Unfiltered Outlaw. Okay, we're not monetized yet, so I can play this. Hopefully it doesn't like take it down, but this is pretty damn funny. I'm gonna drop the music in and out. I love to imagine this guy sitting there going, "Who wants more? Who wants to be the next one? Huh? Who wants more?" That male pattern baldness is gonna suck, man. Has anyone ever been hit? I'm sure that there's some. I'm sure there's some people that are in law enforcement or something here. You know, we got 23 people here. Good morning, everyone. And so I know that law enforcement, part of the training thing, is getting the taser. Has anyone ever had one of these? Has anyone ever got hit by one of these? I'm curious what that feels like. Because they keep aiming for the face, which I would have assumed the idea would be, hit them in the gut to get them to run away because they're pussies. Absolutely. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Ooh, that sucks. So just the tear gas stuff, not the tear gas balls to the face. That's too bad. Did y'all see the woman testify, the doctor testifying before Congress yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yeah. There's a Georgia doctor. Said, who was it? Senator Josh Hawley asked, "Can men get pregnant?" And the doctor went on this rant about different identities and all sorts of stuff. Well, excuse me, Representative Buddy Carter has emailed. I wonder, you know what? Buddy Carter. I wonder if there's any relation to President Carter. Nothing. I feel like that would have been number one thing. Carter is a Methodist, and he's not related to late former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Funny. Yeah. So what's up, Clyde? This doctor goes for Congress and is basically like, I can't really define a woman, yada yada. So Representative Carter has now called on her to lose her medical license. Dear Mr. Jones, who is the executive director of the Georgia Composite Medical Board, I am writing to strongly urge the Georgia Composite Medical Board to immediately revoke the medical license of Dr. Nisha Verma, a Georgia licensed obstetrician and gynecologist. Wait, what's an eye doctor? Optometrist. Okay. I was going to say, hang on. How do you decide to be an eye doctor and a eye doctor? But no, that's OB. Yeah. Let's see. Based on statements she made during a public hearing before the United States Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. That is a wild committee. During that hearing, Dr. Verma was asked a direct and straightforward question by Senator Josh Hawley. Can men get pregnant? Rather than provide a clear, scientific, grounded response, Dr. Verma declined to answer and instead offered statements referring to different identities and characterized the question as political in nature. When pressed again to acknowledge a basic biological reality, she refused to say that men cannot get pregnant. This is not a hypothetical or political inquiry. It is a fundamental question of human biology. Pregnancy is a biological function exclusive to females, and men cannot become pregnant. Clear understanding of biological sex differences is foundational in the safe and competent practice of medicine, particularly in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. Don, I need some help with some language here. Dr. Verma's unwillingness, yada, yada. I want to see what she said. YouTube. Let's make sure we go over to King's Advisors so that... Oh, Wicked's playing. Hang on. I want to hop in and say a little Wicked real quick. She's playing her Halloween game. Okay, I love having met so many of the. Well, I guess I haven't technically met most of these people, but I love the community that I've become part of here. What was I going to look up? Oh yeah, let's see, Georgia Doctor U.S. Senate. What's up, Cole Hauser? Okay, here we go.
Understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women.
I don't care if you don't know where the direction of the conversation is going. A United States senator asks you a question. You answer the damn question. Why? This is what people hate about Congress. This is what people hate about these committees. All you get are doublespeak. I can be there Monday. Hang on. Text message from her. Do you think you can be at our location office on Tuesday for an in-person interview? I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay. I know what I'm doing this weekend. I am going to be on the phone with a friend of mine that works there. I'm going to be figuring. I'm going to know this guy inside and out. Bad choice of words there. I'm going to know everything about their processes. I'm going to crush this. I'm going to shave Tuesday morning. Oh. Hang on a second, guys. I am so freaking happy. I want to reply. I can be there Monday if you need me to, but I don't want to push it. I'll be your reference, Kings. Has only ever broken the law. Oh no, where was that time? Crap, I forgot about that. Sheriff, I've got an interview Tuesday for a job that I would crush. So let's listen to this crazy lady.
I take care of people with different identities. And so that's
Oh, right. I was roasting her for a second. A United States Senator asks you a question, you answer the damn question. You don't go off on a tangent. This is why people hate Congress. This is why no one thinks anything gets done, because you get someone in there that starts or you senators and representatives start asking the experts, because that's who they're supposed to bring in. They're supposed to bring in experts to advise Congress. That's kind of what these hearings are supposed to be. And so they bring in these experts, and someone goes, okay, so you're saying that the water level is rising. I just have a question. You're the expert on this. I've got a photo here from, Ellis Island in 1930, and I got a photo here from Ellis Island yesterday. And it looks to me like the water levels around Ellis Island are the exact same. Can you explain this to me? And they just bullshit out of their mouths. They don't give them an actual answer. There could be, look, I don't know the answer to this. There could be an actual answer that proves water levels are rising, but why it wouldn't look like they are in that photo. So give me the answer if there is one. If there isn't, say, you know what, Senator, I don't have an answer for that. Sorry. Don't give me a bunch of bullshit. So for this doctor to sit there and be like, well, I didn't really know where we were going with that answer or that question, so I've just kind of decided not to answer it. No, you don't get to do that. You were called before Congress to testify on something. Testify. Do you think we would if I was sitting there in a court of law and my expert witness started going, well, I don't really feel like answering that question because I think it's a little rude to transgender people. Man, I would get held in contempt for that answer.
where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
can men get pregnant?
Many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. that,
Can men get pregnant?
again, as I'm saying.
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and evidence should.
Hang on, I want to hear that again.
You testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I think.
Science and
He's got it. It says doctor right in front of her, but he's got to double check. I love that. I don't know if that was on purpose. If it was on purpose, it was brilliant.
Evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert.
And see, here's the other problem is, so she's trying to kind of get around the, what's the word? Bilateral nature of human physiology. And, ooh, it's a pretty good little sentence I just crafted there. She's trying to get around this, but she clearly wants to believe that a trans man, which is a woman that wants to be a man, is a man. But she's not even willing to say, because if that's true, if that statement is true, if trans men are men, if that statement's true, then the answer to this question is yes, men can get pregnant. But she's not even willing to stand on her beliefs because she doesn't want to get splattered in the media the next day. Cole Hauser says he should have asked her, are you married? Do you have kids? Who gave birth? You or your husband? Did you yourself try to get him pregnant? And when you couldn't, he had to get you pregnant, right?
And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not.
It's not. It's A or B, 1 or 0, X, Y, XX. That's it. That's all it is. The biggest problem is the left has been infected with this idea that you cannot exclude anybody. So you must tailor society to include every single human being. The problem is that when you do that, you allow these people to have these ideas. When if you exclude those rare, extreme rare cases, then yes or no answers work. Look, when I was studying for the bar exam, they tell you you're going to have questions and essays on the bar exam that you're going to sit there and go, well, I mean, if this kind of thing happens, and that's not the way you think about the bar exam. When you get a question on the bar exam, you have to sit there and think for the most part. Don't think about every single time, because you can make an argument against the correct answer once or twice every 100 times. But it doesn't care about those once or twice times. It only cares about the 99% of the time. And that's what this is. This is people trying to use those 0.001% chances to destroy society.
I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
Because that's something, look, and honestly, in every single, this is awesome. Okay. Malpractice cases involving doctors. They are very expert heavy. So what they'll do is they, each side has their, 3 or 4 experts that they'll bring in to kind of say whether or not Dr. John was wrong in the way he handled this surgery or wrong in the way he did this. And each side will try to refute those experts, either using their own experts or by having those experts disqualified. Every single case going forward. So if you're trying to disqualify an expert, you should have that expert get up and you should go, doctor, tell me this right now. Can a man give birth? And if that doctor refuses to answer no, then disqualify him as an expert.
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question. it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no?
I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask. I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This was about the pills for abortion.
In 11% of cases, that's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously.
I also don't understand why she didn't just say biological men. Like, again, they refuse to even follow their own logic. Their logic is that people can be born in one body and decide to be a different gender. Like they're literally sitting there and saying, like, their whole thing is that gender and sex are different. Gender is how you feel. Sex is binary. So why doesn't she just sit there and say biological men cannot get pregnant? That answer, whether or not you are so pro-trans or completely anti-trans, that answer is correct. If you are the most anti-trans person on the planet, the sentence, biological men cannot get pregnant, is true. You might argue and yell about using the biological adjective, but it's still a true sentence. If you are the most pro-trans person on the planet, the sentence, biological men cannot get pregnant, is still accurate and true. That's how annoying these people are. They won't even follow their own logic.
And your claims to be a person.
We might be going down some angry kings today because I didn't think we were going to get amped up, but I'm getting amped up.
Of science, if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or...
You are an OBGYN. There's no way in hell you ever put a what's the metal thing? One of the women in the chat tell me, what's that metal device thing? Speculum. There's no way you've ever put a speculum up a man's Don't tell me that your clients are complex. Scapula.
questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women. And I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing. That is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance.
I like this dude. He's been in office for, I think he's on his second term as a senator, and I've always thought he's pretty good. Let's find out if I'm right about that. I bet it's been like 30 years. He's the senior senator from Missouri, a seat he's held since 2019. So he's on his second term. No, he's still in his first term. Damn. He's the senior senator, and he's only on his first term. That's hilarious. So he's up for re-election this year. So, again, he is running. Okay, he's running right now. All of this is so that he's got stuff to campaign about. But he is still doing a good job so far as we can tell. Okay.
A political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children.
So one of the things that annoys me the most is about how these work. And I know that they work for that reason, for a purpose, for that reason on purpose. But I hate the time thing in these hearings. You know, I don't think that the witness's answer should be able to run down the clock. What's up, Sean? How you doing, man? I think that while the person is speaking, they should be able to, they should, you know, have their clock, and then it should be paused when the person is responding. I know that it doesn't, so that, you know, if you have, in this case, the other person can't go on a tirade and ruin a bunch of stuff. But that's why it happens. But it's really annoying because sometimes I just want to keep hearing them talk. Man, I'm pretty cold too, buddy. Woo! But that's why Representative Carter has basically asked the Georgia Composite Medical Board to strip her of her doctorate, or license, I should say. I guess you can't really take away the doctorate. So she was a doctor at Emory University, and apparently she's no longer listed on Emory's website. Wow. That's so, you know, I said that I made the decision a while back that I was going to, I was going to exercise more, and that every day I didn't exercise, I would add on like another 20 minutes to the next day's thing. So I owe about 4.5 years in exercising tomorrow. So it's going to suck. Why is the World Series trending? Nothing is opening. Hey, is Twitter working for y'all? This happened, I think, 2 days ago. What's Twitter? Spider says Twitter is down. Yeah, it is. I guess they're doing another Black Op. The good thing is that bookmarks always work. At the stage. So this is a delivery robot that got demolished by a train. You see the delivery robot right here because I guess it got stuck on the tracks.
Oh, it's gonna. Oh, it's gonna.
Well, I hope whose ever food was in there got it before it got stuck on the tracks, because that is wild. Hang on a second. So that was, if y'all remember last Wednesday, I was supposed to have an interview, and at like 2:00, the lady texted me back and was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but they've actually decided they have enough people in it." That's funny. So she just called me again. I might have an interview later today or this weekend for something to start on Wednesday. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to rest on the idea that any of these other things are going to actually happen. I'm tired of doing that. So, and it's still for a decent amount. So, if the firm takes, 3 or 4 weeks, I've got money coming in. Where were we? Yeah. So this is crazy. I don't like, the thing that I don't like about these things is they're so small. Like, we've already seen videos of people like just busting these things open and stealing what's inside of them. So, especially in cities that, what do we call them? Low trust societies, that this kind of stuff, I just don't trust it. Sarah, it was a big old like passenger train. I think this is an Amtrak train. Jay would know more. This apparently took place in Florida. But, you know, one of the reasons that we trust, you know, DoorDash drivers and stuff like that is because, you know, A, they'll lose their place at DoorDash or Uber or whatever if they steal the food. And they are other people. RL Dog beats Jake to it. Brightline, that's the high-speed train from Miami to Orlando. Is that far? Florida map. I don't do Florida in my head. I don't really know it very well. Yeah, that's pretty far. Yep. Pretty damn far. It blows my mind how the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area blows my mind because it's all connected one city, but then it's also not one city. Wait, Collizer, you're taking the train from Canada to Florida? Dude, you need to video that. That sounds like it's going to be amazing. I would love to do that. Did that for last month. How was it? Amtrak does get pretty sketchy. There are some lines of Amtrak that are pretty good. And then if you can get like, you know, the really good cabins, but the problem is I think they're like $900, $1,200 and it's still like a week of travel. So we've got Mayor Jacob Fry. Love a good sightseeing train. So this is Mayor Jacob Fry. Again, the Minneapolis mayor who, you know, loves to make out with Somalians. So I hear. This is him. Tonight, a man was shot in the leg by an ICE agent on the north side. No matter what led up to this incident, the situation we are seeing in our city is not sustainable. How about we start blaming the people that are committing crimes? Like, I mean, Fry, whatever the hell your name is. What the hell? It's not even the fault of the people 4 blocks away protesting. It's that man's fault. ICE didn't just walk up to some guy and go, hey, guess what? And pop him in the leg. This dude was committing a crime. 100%, Clyde. It's really pathetic, really. There's another video that kind of goes with this, if I can find it, that I thought was actually pretty damn cool. No. Who's she? Oh. Here we go. All right. So this is sort of a liberals of TikTok kind of account, but it's leftists of Minnesota. And this is a citizen of Minnesota, Minneapolis, I would assume, basically telling the protesters and agitators over here to leave ICE alone.
not the south side. This is not the south side. This is the north side. No, no, fuck that. My daughter live here. Me too. My daughter over north. And y'all gonna back up, and we are not gonna provoke them. They gonna back up, and we gonna back the fuck up. And we gonna back up.
Exactly. Look at, I mean, guys, you know what? I'm going to bring up South Carolina again. South Carolina, before the Dylan Roof shooting in Charleston, had the Confederate flag, the stars and bars, on the State House grounds at the Confederate Memorial. I'm still kind of upset they took it down, but that's so. They used to, or after the Dylan Roof shooting, there was a huge protest, about a week's worth of protests out there, and it was anti-flag, pro-flag, basically those two sides. And you had police out there obviously doing their job, but there was absolutely none. There was none of this violent shit. And you had out-of-state agitators show up, and I'll give them credit for this, the NAACP of Charleston that was protesting in Charleston, they kicked those people's ass out of Charleston. They said, that is not what we're here for. We are not here to break windows. We're not here to burn stuff down. Get the hell out of our state. One of those groups, organized by the Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. Dumbass. And then in the State House, all of this division was literally just people discussing things. People weren't throwing anything. Cops weren't being taken to the hospital. There were a couple of anti-flag people started passing out because it was the summer. It was fucking hot here in Columbia. And pro-flag people rushed over there with water bottles and ice packs to help them. This wasn't a us versus them thing. It was an ideology thing. It was, you know what? We see this thing as an important symbol of this state. We respect this thing. You don't see it that way. But I'm not going to sit here and attack you or physically want you harm because you and I have different beliefs. That's back when Americans were American. But I like that. That was cool. And then Homeland Security had to tweet out yesterday, reminder, if you obstruct a law enforcement officer, it is a federal crime and felony. It is. If you lay a finger on law enforcement or destroy federal property, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Be smart. Then we had Minnesota State Rep Brad Tabke. Let's see what Brad Tabke looks like. Exactly, Tenkela. Stop trying to George Floyd this shit. Okay. Does not look like we'll be doing any Red Dead Redemption this afternoon. We'll be doing it later this, probably tonight, or we might do Sea of Thieves with the crew tonight. Brad Tabke. Oh. Not what I expected him to look like. Morning, Salem. That's quite the name. I don't think I do, Grunt. So this is Brad Tabke. Why can't I have a dark mode of... Oh, there we go. I'm looking for... Queso, and that's a woman's name. Okay, well... so this guy spent, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think, this guy spent yesterday driving around and doxing ice locations on Twitter. Every other car on Marshall and 101 today is ice. If you know what to look for, and telling everyone how to spot ice vehicles. Ice speeding through parking lots in Southbridge by Panera and Holiday. Ice watching gas pumps at Sam's Club. Also made sightings at schools and daycares. This is the lie. Once again, ICE is not going to. ICE has already confirmed this like 5 different times. They are not going to schools and pulling people out. ICE raiding La Paz Market and Savage. ICE hit, and look at this. ICE hit a Domino's delivery driver going fast enough that ICE vehicle deployed airbags. So there was an accident involving. Okay, how fast does a car have to be going to deploy its airbags? It's pretty freaking slow, isn't it? Let's see. Airbags deploy in crashes equivalent to hitting a wall at 8 to 14 miles per hour, or 12 to 16 miles per hour if you're belted. So that's actually pretty close or slow. All of this is just insane to me. Again, this is all this is why I think it's more than just Waltz and Al. What's the AG's name? Al something, right? Attorney General Al Keith Ellison, not Al anything. So this is why I think it goes further than just them, because every single person on that party line has jumped on this. They all want the story to change. They all want now, obviously, part of it, or a good sense of it, is they're all full of TDS, but the entire thing is ridiculous to me. I'm thinking Al Sharpton. So Governor Waltz 2 days ago said this.
Well, I said this yesterday. We've never been at war with our federal government. I think in this case that the National Guard is their main mission. They have a dual mission.
And now he's saying this. I'm making a direct appeal to the president. Let's turn the temperature down. Stop the campaign of retribution. This is not who we are. And an appeal to Minnesotans. I know this is scary. We must speak out loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. We cannot fan the flames of chaos. That's what he wants. We got 2 different messages there. So again, Governor Waltz is putting all the onus, all the blame on Trump, and none of the blame on the people committing actual felonies. All the blame for this, he's saying, is Trump's fault. It's ICE's fault. It's DHS's fault. None of it is the fault of the people who are burning cop cars or parking their cars in front of ICE convoys or pouring water. We got another video out here where someone this guy, they're just pouring water so that it freezes and the ICE agents will slip and fall. Like, this is just pathetic. But I will say, this is clever. And let's remember this for when, in 130 years, we get invaded by like Russia or something. Let's remember this, or China, so that we'll do this up north. It won't work down here. The ice won't stick and all that stuff. But up north, this is a real good tactic. So let's remember this. But I mean, you got to admit, it's kind of clever. What was it? I got another video in here somewhere. This is outside the ICE facility on. Yeah. I thought this video gave us an actual thing of it. This is what I think is kind of funny. So these guys, these ICE agents were surrounded. Now, I don't think these are ICE agents. This, if I'm reading this right, it says police something. I think it's probably maybe state police or something like that. I don't think they're federals. Nick says they're federal agents, but he literally had to pull his gun to get these people to move the fuck out of the way. Like this is the problem. Okay, you cannot do this. Updating my. It's just, it blows my mind. Oh, why is Aaron Judge trending? This stuff, I just find this stuff insane. That you've got Governor Walz sitting there saying that this is a safe thing to protest, that these protesters are the good guys, when they just so clearly are not the good guys. It blows my mind, guys. I can't believe it. And they'll say that, they'll still say January 6th is the worst thing we've ever seen. That is 1,000 times worse than January 6th. Oh, hang on. Okay. Where were we? So y'all saw Caden Rummel, right? He's the dude that got hit with kinetic rounds or something. On January 9th, 2026, Caden Rummel. Now, this is going to be a super liberal post. And we'll get to the cool reply after this. Was protesting the fatal murder of Renee Good by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Again, not murder. Witnesses and video footage show Gestapos, wow, approaching the crowd and firing less lethal projectiles, pepper balls, or kinetic rounds at close range of protesters. Eyewitnesses and video footage showed Caden Rummel was holding a megaphone and shouting when he was struck in the face by these so-called less lethal projectiles. Rummel's face and medical reports confirm he underwent 6 hours of surgery for a ruptured eyeball and skull fractures. He's been left permanently blind in his left eye. So this dude. And this was the reply. I'm Caden Rummel and I'm going to attack a federal officer. My fucking eye don't work now. Dumbass. That, you know what? Once again, fuck around, find out. Sucks that he lost eyesight, but maybe you shouldn't have been fucking around. Person with a Somalian flag. So these are ICE agents literally leaving the facility to go do something. Maybe even just going home. and these people just surround them, start beating the crap out of their vehicles. I'm surprised no one has tried to like attack Chrysler, because so far I've seen most of them using town and countries. This was still hilarious. So funny. And this one, I found this one wild. So, hang on. The daily message from Corn Boy. I saw that. You've got these protesters trying to break into the ice facility. And then I'm pretty sure they managed to get in.
Oh shit, they're coming deep. Oh fuck. The gate's going deep. Oh shit. They just joined live, dude. It comes really easily from the right dude to say the chief of peace.
Huh. So you got someone that says, hey, we don't have the numbers yet. And then you got this dumb woman that goes, it's really easy for a white dude to say, keep the peace. You know what? Screw this stuff. I'm so sick and tired of race being used as a reason to allow people to get angry. It's disgusting, really. Cole Hauser, that's pretty damn funny. So I think we're going to end with this. Let's watch Mayor Fry one last time. So this is Mayor Fry, and I think the chief of police for Minneapolis Police Department.
What I can tell you for certain is that this is not sustainable. This is an impossible situation that our city is presently being put in. And at the same time, we are trying to find a way forward to keep people safe, to protect our neighbors, to maintain order. And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors. We cannot be at a place, ICE agents on the street, that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight, to protect our neighbors, to maintain order. And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors. We cannot be at a place right now in America where we have two governmental entities that are literally fighting one another.
I mean, I agree with that. The 1,000-yard stare of someone calculating his pension and whether it's worth it. So that's not what he says here. He doesn't say the local PD are going to fight ICE. He says there are people in Minneapolis that want the local PD to fight ICE. He's not saying they're going to. Now, I still think he wants them to, but again, Tim and Mario, let's be honest about this here, okay? It does no good for us if we lie about what these people say. It's still a stupid thing to say. And you would assume, and this is why I wouldn't have said this at all, is you would assume that if you're sitting there realizing that temperatures are getting way too high, people are getting really angry about stuff, that you would do everything to make sure you don't say things like the Minneapolis PD is going to fight ICE. Just seems smart to me, but that's just me. Oh, well, guys, I think we're going to end it there. No, Spider, he won't get indicted for inciting violence. At least not off of that speech, or at least what we saw of that speech. Because that's not what he's saying. But it wouldn't shock me if a couple of these people end up getting something done. That's what he wants to say, Sheriff. Guys, y'all have a good day. Thank y'all so much for the prayers. I feel like I'm in such a better headspace right now. This has been a really tough 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks now since I found out. And I just feel blessed. This stream will get the channel monetized. We'll start having some fun stuff. We'll get some good, cool emojis in the chat now. And, I'm hoping to hopefully we report some good stuff over the coming next week. Y'all have a good day. And do not forget, do not go meekly into that good night. There's all this crap that's going on is no reason for you to give up. It's no reason for you to stop chasing your dreams or decide that nothing's worth it. Everything is worth it. Remember, God's there for you. Peace out, guys.